Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kawai, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We are continuing on with The Sandman, Season 1, Episode 2, Imperfect Hosts. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see a cut-down version of our reaction because we're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. However, if you want to watch the whole thing with us, uncut, uninterrupted, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKawai, or become a member of this YouTube channel to watch the whole episode with us. No cuts or interruptions, but you will need your own Netflix account, so you can open up the episode in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications. Pretty please vote this up, let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Just so you guys know, also on Patreon and memberships, we have Prey, we have a watch-along to Ms. Marvel and several other Marvel TV shows. We've got Peacemaker and the Justice League Zack Snyder edition, all that good stuff. We have tons of movies and TV shows or watch-alongs that you can catch there. So keep a lookout for that. Also, a K-drama that ACHARA's been watching with Sintal.
Extraordinary Attorney Woo. It's awesome.
Bunch of Indian stuff if you're into Indian content. All right, here we go.
Sometime after you left, all the books in the library became bound volumes of blank paper. The next day, the whole library was gone.
Wow.
Maybe this episode's shorter because they spent a lot of money. It's like effects heavy, perhaps.
We'll see.
All that, very complicated.
Yeah.
That's... He's putting it back together real quick.
He's exerting a lot of energy. He doesn't have all his power because they took his
Rest, my lord.
magical stuff.
Well, you'll never guess what I am looking at. It is a Caravaggio, and it can be your.
Oh.
Un'altra dei volumi di Vasari. Ah sì, è molto bello. Dites au directeur que Madame Daudet l'appelait.
How many languages does she speak?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Hello? Hello?
Who could it be? Her home doesn't look particularly inviting.
Why would she just walk out like that?
Quite the place you got here.
Oh God, it's him.
How did you get in?
Getting in was the easy part. The hard part was finding you. You've done a very good job of convincing people Ethel Cripps doesn't exist.
Oh.
Do you remember the being Roderick Burgess kept caged in his basement? King of Dreams. He's out of his cage and he's coming for us. You stole from him.
Oh, that's...
My siblings have their own realms to attend to. I have mine.
Perhaps just this once, you could tell them what happened to you.
I am quite sure they know what happened to me, and not one of them came to my aid.
Yeah.
Wow. Loving family.
Sucks.
Something that remains intact, that might retain some fragment of my power within it. Something I can absorb.
There is one thing.
Just one.
Gregory! Calm down from there right now! You're gonna slip and hurt!
I love Gregory.
We have visitors.
Where?
Cain! Abel.
I'm like, is your little Catholic brain going, what?
For the sake of the dreaming, I must take back a gift I gave you long ago.
Yes, my lord.
What's ours is yours.
Anything at all.
Just ask it.
Oh, this guy?
What? No. Can't take Gregory.
Surely there's another way.
I wish there were.
What?
Dreaming must be restored.
You say that as if we're the ones that destroyed it.
Oh, shush you.
How did they do this? They spent a butt ton on this dragon creature. Look how real that looks right there.
I know, he looks so good. I love Gregory. So cute.
You don't have to do this, you know.
Wow.
This is some stellar visual effects
Yeah.
right here.
Its eyes and everything.
What's helping is the way they're using the depth of field as well. That's messed up. Man. Dust him?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because every time he makes something, a little part of his power is left over in it. Oh, man.
Come, Lucian.
Gregory was such a cutie.
Simpering suck-up.
Oh, I was wondering when this was going to happen.
You legit killed him?
I mean, it's Cain and Abel.
These waters are as much a part of me as I am of them. Gregory's sacrifice will not be in vain.
Did you have to use all of it? Couldn't use like half. Half now, half later.
Right.
That's what they're doing with the monkeypox vaccine. Splitting it up.
Oh, no.
No.
The dreams and nightmares no longer seem to recognize their master. I will remind them.
Yes.
Since one meets the fates at a crossroads, I find one in the dreams of a Cambodian farmer.
Oh, shit.
The hanged man represents surrender and sacrifice for the greater good. The gallows come from a young Japanese cinephile, her head full of British horror films. The currents are stronger and faster than I remember. I have to focus. Open my eyes and...
Whoa.
Serpent. The symbol of transformation. Of life, death, and rebirth. Now it is up to the fates.
That was trippy.
Yeah.
I need your help.
Like you helped us against Cersei.
Cersei's old business, sister self.
And he did bring nice stuff.
That young one's a cutie. Oh, I thought it was presenting the egg.
The snake looks pretty cool, too.
It's another...
You may ask us 3 questions.
What the hell?
Oh.
It's another biblical reference, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Well, the snake is Satan.
Well, yeah.
I had a leather pouch filled with sand. Where is it?
In London, last purchased by a magic user called Joanna Constantine.
Writing this all down.
I knew a Constantine, but that was 300 years ago. You said last purchased. Does she still have the sand?
Second question.
You know better than that. You get 1 question, 1 answer.
Oh.
My helm. What happened to it?
It was traded away to a demon.
What?
To which demon was it traded?
Oh, you can't ask a second
1
question?
question, 1 answer, love.
Tricksy ladies.
Who holds it now?
Your gem was passed from a mother to a son.
Where are they now?
You asked your questions!
That last one was bullshit. You didn't give him any information.
My lord, you didn't give it to the Fates.
Because it was not meant for them.
I think I know what it is.
Oh, he's gonna give it to as a replacement?
Yeah.
What, Cain and Abel just continue to kill each other over and over again?
That's it. That's their whole relationship. He can never die. You can't kill him.
You don't listen, do you? Attractive men seldom do. I suppose they don't have to.
It's interesting how they all looked like an egg.
Your eyes will tell me everything. Every thought. Every feeling.
You will regret this, I promise you.
What makes you think that?
Ugh, what
Yeah.
I have my own.
Oh, so she traded it up.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Fates said, that it was traded for an amulet from a demon. It's an amulet of protection.
Kate, look! It's a baby gargoyle.
Aww.
He's trying to buy us off with a baby gargoyle.
He feels just as bad about losing Gregory as we do.
It's cute.
Gargoyle names always begin with a G. Gormagon, Gladstone, Ganymede.
All right then. Girving.
Works. Yeah, why not?
It could be a Goldie. Goldie's...
What a weird relationship.
Yeah, it's super weird. Is that her son?
Hello, Johnny.
Oh, shit.
Hello, Mum.
We need to talk about the ruby.
Oh my god, it's too cute. I don't know why he's even bothered to be buried. Oh, hi there.
He can't help it. It's not his fault. It's who he is. It's who we are. The first murderer, the first victim. This is our story. Do you even know what a story is? Who loved each other very, very much. And the elder brother never harmed the younger brother, ever. And they didn't live in different houses. They lived together in the same house. And they'd be happy.
This is a terrible story.
Like her ancestor, she would serve me well enough. She is only human.
As was Roderick Burgess.
Yeah, don't underestimate.
More biblical references.
Oh yeah. No, there's a lot.
Good. You've returned.
Oh.
Dreams and nightmares do not belong in the waking world.
Oh, turns out I fit right in.
Have you no loyalty to your creator?
Why should I? There's no loyalty to us.
You misunderstand him, Corinthian.
Corinthian, that's all right.
Fuck about you or me. He only cares about himself.
He will come after you.
Well, then if he does, he won't be coming back either. Can't save him either.
Corinthian almost reminds me of like Agent Smith from Matrix Reloaded. You know, I'm a new man, free. Neo. When you told me that this episode was 37 minutes, my prediction was that there was going to be a lot of VFX, and there was quite a bit of VFX in order to facilitate this particular story. And I thought that on that, the effects were very, very well done. I mean, that's the thing that stood out to me the most. Like the effects on Gregory, the dragon, the gargoyle, whatever that. Yes, it was cute. Initially, like there was instances, fleeting instances of it looking kind of cartoony, but like when you got intimate with that dragon, like up close to its face, and it was right next to the characters were holding it leaning on it and all that stuff. It looked like it was there with those people, and it was pretty astounding. It looked really good. You know, I'm not expecting a heck of a lot from a TV show like a Netflix show or whatever. Even when you see stuff on Disney Plus, sometimes it doesn't look like stellar like it would for a full-fledged film production, right? Sometimes it just looks like, oh, that's like high-end TV quality effects. And in this particular instance, it was at like the top of that spectrum or whatever, or the higher end of that spectrum, certainly, because even with the little guy, while I could tell that it was a CGI character, I thought it still looked really good and cute and adorable. What matters is that I buy into its existence. In the instance where Abel was talking to the little gargoyle, I was buying into that immediately. And so I just want to applaud the VFX artists, as we have been hearing about ever since Life of Pi. You know, FX artists are worked very, very, very hard, and I thought that they should be applauded tremendously for this episode, because they did a very, very good job in bringing these creatures, the environments to life, down to like the water and then the snake and the egg. Well, maybe the egg was real. All the things that were like heightened, that were obviously not practical, looked really, really good.
The Corinthians' eyes with the teeth in them.
That's just uncomfortable.
That was so cool. Like, just so well done. The thing I love about this is that, you know, since it is to do with Morpheus and Dream, there are so many things that just like don't really make sense in the real world. But it's totally cool because it's kind of, you know, it's all intertwined with the dreaming, and the Corinthian is this nightmare. So it totally makes sense that he would have teeth where eyes are supposed to be. I just think he's such a cool character. Like, I'm so glad that he's being the villain in this right from the top, and they're including him.
Oh, it's a cricket. I was like, what is that sound?
I was like, well, something's up with you.
Yeah, because I was hearing something. I'm like, did my phone ring? I just couldn't. Maybe you guys can't hear it, but I hear a cricket. It's like aggressive. It's almost like we're in Thailand or something. The thing that popped up into my head was I was trying to figure out, what is the book of Corinthians in the Bible? What makes that one so special? Because I have no idea. First epistle to the Corinthians. The first epistle to the Corinthians is one of the Pauline epistles, part of the New Testament of the Christian Bible. The epistle is attributed to Paul the Apostle and a co-author, Sosthenes, and is addressed to the Christian church in Corinth. That doesn't help me.
I feel like there's a lot of really famous quotes from Corinthians.
Yes, there are. And Apostle Paul was, I don't know if if this is relevant at all, but for those of you who aren't as versed in this, and forgive me to all the, you know, Christian aficionados, like I'm just pulling from what I remember. Apostle Paul used to be King Saul, and he was like murdering Christians by the numbers. And then at some point, supposedly, Jesus came to him after Jesus, you know, died on the cross and went to heaven and all that. It's like, why are you persecuting my people? What's up with that? And then, you know, King Saul became Apostle Paul and ended up becoming like the person to push Christianity everywhere.
Well, that might have something to do with why the choice of Corinthian, or the Corinthian for the name, because he kills a lot of people. He has a thing where he particularly enjoys killing handsome young men and taking their eyes, as you saw.
Yeah, I have only known the name Morpheus from The Matrix. I don't actually know its origin.
So Morpheus, I believe, is the Greek god of dreams and sleep. And so Dream, because he is the Endless, he has a lot of names. He goes by Dream, he goes by Morpheus, you know, like every culture has their own version of his name. And the cool thing is, wherever he shows up, whoever sees him, they see him as how they would in their culture. So if he showed up to like an African culture, he looks like an African prince.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sort of is explaining the different religions in the world and the overlap between them. So like there's like weird similarities between different religions, but we have our own interpretations of it.
Exactly. Yeah, and so you interpret him in whichever way makes the most sense to you.
When was this story created? Because I feel like nuances of The Matrix in this that are quite obvious. Like if this was made 30 years ago, easily I would have cast Keanu Reeves for this.
Oh.
You know, and the outfit and everything looks like Neo's outfit from The Matrix. Stylistically though, like, yeah, I mean, who knows what was in those early issues. So I'd have to go read those 89 issues all the way till The Matrix came out, just because, or maybe The Matrix was inspired by the Sandman, because, you know, the Wachowskis were huge comic book heads. I think they even had a comic book shop, so it wouldn't surprise me if they borrowed from this.
Yeah, I mean, it's It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to borrow from.
Yeah. The tumultuous relationship of Cain and Abel is fascinating. And then when Abel was trying to tell the story to the little gargoyle, like, you want to hear a story? And he tells him this like boring ass story. It's like, it's almost meta in a way because it's telling you why this has to happen in stories, because conflict, death, all that stuff, like that is more interesting, because if you just had a story with nothing happening and no one dying, it would be boring.
Yeah.
It's
like the whole thing. It's the biblical story, right, of Cain and Abel, the brother who killed his brother, and it explains why as humans we kill each other, because we're all technically, like, we're all brothers and sisters, and yet there is this darkness where we go around killing other people and hurting people. And I love Abel so much. I remember the first time he died, I was just like, no, but like it makes sense because it's Cain and Abel, but no, but then he keeps coming back to life, so it's almost this comical, weird, dysfunctional relationship where they do love each other, I think, especially Abel. Like, Abel is so sweet, and then Cain just gets mad and then kills him, and then they just, it's like this song and dance that they do every day.
Well, the question I have is, if Cain knew that Abel wouldn't come back, would he still kill him? That's the question, because it's like he's of course he's going to keep killing him. He'll just come back the next day.
It's fine.
It's like whatever. It's just so weird.
But
obviously Abel isn't completely happy about it. Like, that's the whole point of the last section of the show, where he's talking right before we come back to Sandman. When he's talking to the little gargoyle, he's not happy about this arrangement. It seems like like he's participating. He loves his brother, but he doesn't feel like something's off. As far as I could tell.
Yeah.
I was just curious about the ethnicities of Cain and Abel, because Cain is played by Sanjeev Bhaskar, who's presumably Indian, and then Asim Chowdhury plays Abel, who I would guess is also Indian.
Yeah, they both sound like Indian names to me.
Yeah.
No, I like that casting, actually. Like, they could be anyone, really.
What I'm just wondering, why? That's all. No, I'm not in a bad way or a good way. Just why? Why did they choose Indian actors to portray Cain and Abel? Is it because that's what Cain and Abel might have looked like? Like, I'm just curious why they chose that particular ethnicity.
I feel like in this show they're really trying to just have an open mind and cast across different cultures, different races, and different genders, and in fact, because the thing that I was kind of like, wait, what? Was because they said, oh, Joanna Constantine got the stand, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, hold on. No, because in the comic, it was John Constantine who got it. So, I mean, I think that might even be like the same Constantine Keanu Reeves played in the movie.
Wow.
And so Joanna Constantine was actually a different character. She was from the past, but he was a descendant of her. So I guess they must have flip-flopped it around, where maybe her descendant was a man, and then in this present time, she's a woman. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter for the sake of the story, It's just if you're familiar with the source material, then you're like, why are they casting a woman in this role when it was a man originally? But I'm interested to see how they play it out. I mean, obviously, you've got Neil Gaiman as a writer on the show, so he must have co-signed every choice that they made. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't just let them just do whatever.
Yeah. So just back on the topic of like ethnicities and whatnot, the Fates, two of them were Indian. One of them is from Ghana. The oldest one, I guess, is from Ghana.
Okay.
But the other two are, the oldest one is Irish and Syrian, but the other two are definitely Indian. So I'm just curious, like, what that is about. I saw stuff like that in The Matrix as well. Maybe it has something to do with Indian religions being like the oldest religions, and so it's sort of tying it in that way or something. I don't know.
Well, technically the Fates are from Greek mythology, right? If I recall, because they're also talking about Hecate. They are from Greek mythology, but I just think that as a choice, the creators of the show are trying to portray as many different races.
Okay, so that's fair. That's a fair objective. So then why is it that one of the Fates wasn't Korean and another one wasn't a Spaniard or something? Like, it's...
Well, technically there's supposed to be 3 Fates phases in life of a woman. So I guess it makes more sense if they're like three sisters of, that they would be kind of similar because they're supposed to be like the maiden, the crone, and whatever is in between a maiden and a crone.
Again, this is not a big deal. It's just me simply asking questions out of curiosity of why.
Yeah.
And that's it, nothing more. But
do you find it distracting?
Being an American who, grew up in the 90s, it's, when you're so conditioned to see Western cinema with white faces, you notice when they're not.
Yeah.
And so then I start to ask the questions of, okay, why that choice then? Not that I have an issue, but I just want to know why. Like, what made you decide to go with that? Because the default automatically when it comes to taking something like, I don't know, Beauty and the Beast that is based in France, the default is to go with English accents. And so everything is very white or English. And so, so why is it that they're Indian across the board here?
With English accents.
With English accent, well, the English accent is the default. It's simply a curiosity as far as creative choices go. We do have Vivienne, what's her last name? That's a last name. Vivienne Acheampong.
Yeah. And her character was originally a man.
Okay,
Yeah.
Being man or woman doesn't really make a difference to me in that particular instance.
Exactly. That's why with a lot of the casting where they swapped the genders, it's like, really doesn't matter, whether Lucifer is male or female, or whether Lucien or Lucienne in this case is male or female. Still works exactly the same way.
I like her. I mean,
I do too.
I think that her acting fits the role very, very well as this undying, very, very loyal support to Dream.
Yeah.
To the Sandman. I think that she's performing that character excellent. And I buy her. As whatever that person is, I buy her.
Yeah. Well, going back to your comment about how we're so used to seeing this type of story told with a bunch of white actors rather than the diversity that we're seeing here, I think that's just kind of old conditioning on our part.
Because
you said, because of what we grew up with. And I think it's really cool that people are making an effort to kind of reflect the diversity that we see in our everyday life and show that in our movies, because it is a fantasy. So why can't it be all of this?
As far as this being like a shorter episode, it had a lot of compelling moments for it being only 37 minutes.
Yeah.
You compare, especially compared against the first episode, which was like a slow burn, getting into the revelations of everything. It's like that first episode really wasn't giving you much of anything other than the inciting incident.
Yeah.
That was a long inciting incident. That's what the first episode was.
Yeah, and some of the characters too, because
that's true.
We have Ethel Cripps coming back here, which was really cool. Just be like, okay, she's still here. And she's played by Joely Richardson now.
There's a guy here who's from Harry Potter and from Dragonheart.
Oh, yes. The one who played Ethel Cripps' son?
Yeah, his name is David Thewlis.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
And I was like surprised to see him in this. I'm like, what? He's the son? And so, okay, just for clarification, the jewel kept his mom looking young, right? Is that the idea? Like, she looks really young.
Yeah. I think it was the jewel giving her long life, but then she also has that necklace which stops her from being harmed by anyone, because should anyone want to harm her, like the Corinthian did, then they would just...
Why'd she give up the jewel that was keeping her young? That was that's interesting to me. I mean, there's a whole thing
Why did she give it to her son?
Yeah.
Because she loves her son and wants him to stay alive.
And then she put him in a hospital? Like, there's so many questions.
He's mentally ill.
Okay.
You'll see.
I'm imagining that at some point in the journey, he's going to be kind of the character of reason, even though he's the crazy one.
Okay.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
We'll
That's
see.
always what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
You're not going to tell me if I'm right or wrong.
No, I'm not going to tell you. No.
All right. Well, anyway, that's generally what happens in stories is you have a character who's supposedly the nut job and the one that like people are like, oh, he's a weirdo. He's crazy. But usually they're the ones with the most insight and truth that everyone else just seems to fail to pay attention to. Anyway, fun times, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. Do subscribe, bell icon, all notifications. Vote this up, please. Thanks again. I'm Jabby Coy. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.